Welcome back this week to listen to chapter 12 of The Umbrella Girls and the Tree People. Once again, just a reminder to make sure that you hit that follow button. And don't forget, we're on Spotify, Podbean, Amazon, Apple, and we're also on YouTube now. So it'd be very easy to find us. Just put into any of those search engines, The Umbrella Girls and the Tree People. So let's sit back and listen to chapter 12 of The Umbrella Girls. Chapter 12. The girls just stood there, looking at Her Royal Highness, as the eyes beneath the hood just stared back at them. The children then turned to the old man and asked, "What third journal is she talking about? I thought we were coming here to simply ask her for help to get back home. That's all we want," Jojo said. And then she said to the whole group, "Why is she asking us to go and get this journal for her?" The old man looked at the girls with some pity in his eyes. In a whispered tone, he explained that she wanted them to do something for her, and in return, she would help them. "And if we do that, then she'll get us home?" Jojo questioned the old man, who just shrugged his shoulders. Jojo turned around to face the tall figure on the stage. "If we do this for you, can you guarantee you're going to send us home?" she shouted at Her Royal Highness. The whole audience seemed to gasp at this question from Jojo. The large figure on the stage just stared back and repeated what she had said before. "I need you to go and retrieve the third journal for me from beyond the mountains. And when you have done so, I will tell you how to get home," she explained very slowly to the group. "Telling us how to get home is not the same as getting us home. We need to know you're going to get us home," Sam shouted back at Her Royal Highness. But Her Royal Highness moved her head slightly to the left, as if trying to understand these creatures in front of her and why they were asking her, a ruler, a question. It was her that always asked the questions. So she was confused that anyone, especially strangers, would dare question her and dare demand answers from her. The creatures all over the wall did not like the tone of Sam's voice, because they moved a bit closer to the group, and the old man noticed that the audience behind him moved a bit further back. He didn't like that. He held up his hand to try and keep the girls quiet. "You come here without my approval and stand here, demand answers from me. No one demands answers from me. Do you hear me?" Her Royal Highness screamed down at the girls. And then suddenly, she changed her voice to a whisper, as if only to make sure the girls could only hear her. And she bent over slightly towards them. "Yes, I will get you home, but only when I see you back here with the third journal. If you don't return with the journal, then I will send you to a place we call nothingness, and there you will spend forever. Do you understand me?" she said as she stood up very straight and walked back towards the very large seat. Jojo looked at the faces of her friends and saw the shock on their faces. She turned back to where Her Royal Highness was now sitting. "We will go and retrieve the third journal for you, and when we come back, we expect you to send us all home," she said. And as she talked, the creatures on the wall moved a little bit closer to the group again. But after a few moments, Her Royal Highness slightly bowed her head to sort of acknowledge the request. "Okay, this way," the old man said as he led the girls out the same way they had entered the large room. Her Royal Highness watched the girls leave. and after the door had closed behind him, she turned to the head watcher and motioned for him to come closer to her. He climbed onto the stage and stood beside his boss and waited and listened for her words to be spoken. I want you to make sure that when they find the third journal, that it is you who brings it to me. Do you understand? She said, not really expecting an answer. Yes, of course, Your Royal Highness. When I retrieve the third journal, what would you like me to do with the Umbrella Girls? He asked. That's pretty simple, head watcher. I want you to make sure I never see those girls again. Is that understood? Yes, Your Royal Highness, the head watcher said with a grin on his face, and then turned and left the room the same way the girls did. So how do we get to this place over the hills? Sam asked the old man when the large door had closed behind them. Well, it will take approximately half a day to walk there and an hour to get back, the old man explained. What? How can it take half a day to get there and only an hour to get back? Anna asked, confused. Well, this is Venita, and some things are hard to explain, and time moves differently here, the old man tried to explain. Okay, but hold on 1 minute. When we came in here a while ago, it was just getting dark, and those things outside tried to get us. So is it not too dangerous to go back now out into the darkness? Anna asked, looking scared and worried. No, don't worry. It's daylight where we are going, so those creatures won't be a problem, the old man said. So, is there any other creatures we need to be worried about? Kay asked. Well, yes, there's a few we need to watch out for, but it should be fine, the old man answered. Hold on, Anna shouted. I told you it was a bad idea to mess with the tree and the moon dial, and now I'm saying it's a bad idea to go back out there, she told the girls, with her eyes pleading for them to listen to her. But we need to get home, Anna, and this seems to be the only way, Sam said, and then looked at the old man. Am I right? Or is there another way? No, there is no other way. Unless we do what Her Royal Highness asks, she will not allow you home, he answered. Well, I think we should go back in there and tell her we're not doing this and we want to go home now, Anna told the girls. No problem, Anna, Kay answered. We are all right behind you. You lead the way and tell her. Anna just looked at the rest of the group and then at the door they'd just come from. This is all bad. Bad, 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 and it will end bad, she said, defeated, and she knew she was wasting her time. Okay, so which way? Sam asked the old man, as the door behind them opened again and the head watcher came out. He gave the group a smile that the old man did not like. What about him? Is he coming as well? Kay asked. Oh yes, he'll be watching us all the way so he can report back. Like all snakes, we may not be able to see him, but he will be there. So watch your backs, the old man said loud enough so the head watcher could hear him. Follow me, and I will show you the way to go, the head watcher said as he ignored the comment from the old man. The whole group followed him back along the corridor where they could see in the distance the large door they had just come through. But before he got there, he stopped and took out his key again, and this time he put it into a keyhole the girls could barely see. As he turned the key, the whole corridor started to move like a train track moves to a different line. It felt weird as the rest of the corridor in front of the girls disappeared and a new one appeared. This new one was not as bright as the last one and seemed to be very rarely used. It smelled of damp and the floor was mucky and gravelly. All the girls just looked at each other. Is this the only way to where we are going?" Anna asked, hoping she would get an answer that she liked. But she didn't. "Yes," was the only reply from the head watcher. It took a few moments for the corridor to stop moving, and when it did, they heard like a loud clamp going into place. "Just follow this pathway, and you will come out, and look ahead, and you will see the way forward," the head watcher said as he stood back to allow the group move forward. The girls all looked at each other, wondering who would be the first to enter the new corridor. It was Sam that sort of huffed and took the lead, and then Kay and Jojo followed, with Anna having to move because the old man was moving behind her, and she didn't want to be last in line. As they all moved forward, they heard a clap noise again, only this time it was unlocking itself, and then to the girls' horror, the tunnel started to move again. They could see the smile on the head watcher's face just before it fully closed, and all that was there now was a solid wall. "How do we get back if that is closed?" Anna asked. "Don't worry about that. There are other ways," the old man told the girls. "I thought you said the watcher would be following us," Kay asked, looking at the solid closed wall. "He will. He knows how to find us," the old man said as he moved forward to lead the way. "Now we need to keep going. We don't have time to waste," he added. Anna quickly followed the old man to the top because she was making sure she was not last. After walking for what seemed like ages to the girls, but was really only about 40 minutes, they could see natural light entering the corridor in front of them. "Okay, you all wait here as I check things ahead," the old man said as he stopped walking for a moment. "Why? What do you need to check?" Jojo asked. "I just need to make sure there's nothing dangerous there," he added, and before Jojo could answer him and ask him any more questions, Anna said to the group, "No one ask him what he means, because we do not want to know. Okay?" she instructed the group. The other girls all just nodded and agreed with her because they knew it was a bad idea to upset Anna. "Right, I'll be back in a few," the old man announced as he walked ahead. The girls stood there watching as the old man got closer and closer to the opening where the light was entering the tunnel. After a few moments, he was gone. "Can any of you still see him?" Kay asked as she squinted her eyes to try and see the old man. "No," Jojo answered. "What happens if he never comes back?" Anna asked. "Anna, he will. He said he would. So relax," Sam said as she looked ahead, also trying to see the old man. "Can you see him, Jojo?" Kay asked again. But before Jojo could answer, a shout came from the end of the tunnel. "It's okay, but hurry," came the instruction, which took the girls by surprise. "Okay, let's go," Sam said as she led the way. "What does he mean, it's okay? What would not okay look like?" Anna asked her friends, but no one answered her. As they approached where the old man was standing, they had to put a hand over their eyes because the sunlight was blinding them after being in the half darkness of the corridor. Anna was the first to grasp as she saw what was in front of her. Then the other girls looked at the fields that lay ahead. The girls were looking at a field full of tall, skinny trees that had branches on them but no leaves on them. There were hundreds of them. They only had a few branches, which made them seem even more weird. But that is not what shocked the girls. It was the fact that the trees kept moving. It was like a busy street. The trees kept moving around in the fields, and as it did so, the branches sort of swayed from side to side. "What the hell are those?" Sam asked. Trees, answered the old man with a grin on his face. I have never seen trees move like that. In fact, trees don't walk around, Sam answered him. Well, Sam, that is not a fact here. As you can see, trees move. The old man answered him and then added, we need to keep moving. He said as he moved forward into the field and towards the constant moving trees. Wait, Anna shouted. Is it not too dangerous just to walk down there? As she said as she stared at the trees. Maybe they might stand on us. Don't be so silly, the old man said as he moved ahead. Anyway, they're more scared of you than you are of them, he shouted back to Anna. I bloody well doubt it, Jojo said to no one in particular. But watch for the ground moving. If that happens, tell me immediately, the old man said. Why? What does that mean? Anna said as she froze on the spot, looking all around the ground. The old man shouted back. It means we're in real trouble. That's it for this week. So thank you very much for listening into chapter 12 of The Umbrella Girls and the Tree People. And once again, don't forget to hit that follow button, or you can even find us on www.theumbrellagirls.ie. Till next week, have a great week.